All right, all right, all right. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to wait a second here for people to jump on. This is Paula Hunter, psychic medium, spiritual coach, Reiki master. I do all sorts of things. And tonight is my messages of spirit. So, this is an opportunity, or will be an opportunity, to ask questions of my guides. And that would be any type of psychic question, if you will. And also connections. So, connections to people and animals on the other side. I can connect to both. So, let me just see if I am running live. If you guys can see me, let me know, okay? Because I'm not getting any messages up, any comments yet. So let's see, just making sure. And I'm not seeing anything. Okay. Cara Michelle, there we go. Had to wait a second for them to actually click in, I guess. How's everyone doing this evening? Hopefully good for Wednesday night. Hello, Bev and Sherry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to see everyone tonight. Hello, Marilyn. See if I can keep up with my comments this evening. I think everything is working the way it needs to be. At least I'm sure hoping so. Looks like I am anyway. Hello, Valerie. So good to see everyone tonight. So again, just to recap, for those that don't know me, my name is Paula Hunter. I'm a psychic. I'm a medium. I am taking some courses as a spiritual coach right now. Be doing mentoring. I do all sorts of stuff. And usually about twice a month, I go live, and this is an opportunity for me to kind of give back to people too, right? This is my passion. This is my joy. And for me, one of the decisions I made a long time ago was to be of service of people, right? And yeah, so going live with my messages from spirit is one way that I can give back, okay? Hello, Misty, Heather. Hey, Norma. Nice to see you guys. Catherine Sullivan. Nice to see some people I haven't seen for a while. Hey, Amanda and Tracy Kelly. Nice to see you guys. Hey, Darlene. Darlene, for you, lots of love, my dear, and good luck. I'll be thinking about you, okay? Drop me a line when you get back again. Hi, Dale. And we have Jane. We have Amanda. Awesome. I think we got about 20 in here right now. I'm just going to give a few more minutes here just to see if there's any other stragglers that are going to jump in live with me. A lot of times when I ground, I have spirit that starts stepping forward right off the bat too. And I was having spirit that actually started showing up a while ago. And I'm not, the gist of what I get is I don't think the individual's in here right now, but will be coming in later on. So I'll just kind of play it by ear and see where that goes. I know it was a male who had passed looking for a connection with a wife. He feels like he had left fairly quickly because I get the sense of not having the opportunity to say goodbye and this almost sense of shock. So it's almost like it would represent a death that wasn't expected, I guess you can say. Right. And for those of you that are new, that haven't been on my sessions before, I have a little pen and paper here. And what I do is spirit directs me to certain individuals. Okay. So when I ground and prepare, I ask the guides, you know what, let me be of service to those that need me and help to direct me to those that really need the messages tonight. So it isn't that one person is better than the other. It's just, you know what, it's their show. As much as it's me sitting here in front of you, it is their show. So if you do happen to pop on, make sure you say hi, make sure so I know that you're here. Because as I said, as I see the names come up, then I make note of it, right? And I write them down, okay? Please don't take it personally if I don't make a connection for you. But you know what? This is what I do full time. I'll be more than happy to set up a private session with you to move through whatever we need to move through. So bear with me here. I'm just checking out some comments and being directed to some names here, okay? Bear with me one second, guys. Let me get back down the bottom. And what I'm going to try, and I know I tried this last week. This is a new software for me. And I knew I put a link to come live with me. And I think before maybe someone was trying to click the link, you actually have to copy the link and put it into a browser, I believe, to get into it. So if there's someone here right now who would like to come on screen with me and go live with me, let me know. Okay, I'd love to have you jump on. Again, you have to be able to copy it, the link I'm going to put up, and paste it into another browser to come in. Okay. Hello, Irene. Bear with me, guys. Trying to get to the bottom here. And hello, Lori, Christine, Amy, Mary Lou, Kendra, Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry's saying you help so many people. You know what? I try to. I've been doing this work, geez, over 25 years now. I started in my early 20s, right? Okay, Norma. I know I've read for you a couple times. Let me see. Let's give this a try. So I'm going to copy my link. Let's see. It looks like I can actually have instructions too. Okay, so give me a second here. So I've copied a link. And what I'm going to do, Norma, I'm going to put it in the comments. And as I said, you're going to have to copy it and put it into a browser. Okay, we're going to give it a try because I haven't gone live with anyone here. So it'd be nice to try it out. And you know what? This is kind of what I'd like to see moving forward. So what I'm planning on doing is before I go live, I'm going to say, hey, if you want to go live with me, here's a little link, give me your email, and your name, and I'll draw certain people. And then before the live, I'll actually draw a couple people and send you the information in order to go live. Okay. With me. Give it a try that way as well. See how it works. I'll still do some people that come into the room. So it won't just be like the whole thing being on, preset individuals, but I thought I'd give it a try and see how things work. So I'm just waiting to see whether Norma can pick up that link. We're going to see what happens because I'm running blind on it too. I've never tried it in this fashion before, right? And somebody's checking through something different. Hello. Anyone that I haven't said hi to? So it isn't working. Okay, so I'm going to have to try and figure that out because I know if I take that link and I put it into a browser, it lets me join. So I'm not quite sure what's up. So maybe if you're trying on a phone, maybe that's what the issue is, and that the phones won't work. Maybe I'll figure it out at some point. We'll get it working. I want to know whether Bridget Gale Young is still in here. Let me know if you're still around, Bridget. Hello, Nicole. Nice to see everyone tonight. Nice to see that weather hasn't been too bad lately. And again, for those that are new, guides direct me to a name. And once I kind of call that name, you are welcome to ask a question. When I talk about questions, this is what I call your normal psychic stuff. So relationship, kids, career, things like that. I can also connect with people and animals on the other side too. And where I'm different than a lot of mediums may read the spirit who's around you or standing next to you, whatever that is. I am first and foremost a channel, and I believe this is the reason for it. But if there's somebody you want to connect with on the other side, all you have to do is let me know who it is that you want to connect with, and my guides automatically help me to key into that energy wherever it is. Okay, just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up for those that might not be familiar with it. So I was looking for Bridget, and let me know if Irene Snow is in here too. Irene Snow or Bridget Gale Young. Hey, Pam, how are you, my dear? Nice to see so many familiar faces. So I'm looking for, oh, let me see. So I see a Barb just happened to pop on. Let me see. Who are you, Barb? Let's see. Bear with me a second, just for a second, guys. Somebody's trying to jump in, so I'm just trying to figure out who that is. Okay, so Irene, hang on there just for 1 minute here. Barb, can you hear me at all? I don't think she meant to come in. Okay. So obviously it does work because someone just jumped in. I did just kick them out. Nothing personal. But I didn't see any video. I didn't hear anything. So it just makes it a little bit easier. So Irene, I see you there. Let me know if you would like to have a connection or if you would like to ask a question. Okay. And as I say that, the guides are kind of chuckling. They say, tell her to take a breath. And typically whenever I hear that from the guides, it also represents somebody who's under stress. Okay. So Irene, feel free to post your question or connection. And hello, Zena. Zelly, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Forgive me if I'm not. Hey, Suzanne. I got lots of people trying to pop in now. And bear with me just a second, guys. Yeah. Mental note, I might have to send private messages for going live. I've got a few people that are trying to jump in on me or with me right now, but anyone who's trying to jump on, I'm not getting any video or audio. So obviously I'm not going to bring the person in because I'm not getting any connection. Okay. So yeah, I'm just waiting for Irene's question here. Okay. So I won't worry about the going live right now. So you mean if you guys are trying, just don't worry about it. I've got some changes that are coming. So we'll figure it out at that point. Hello, Robin. Thank you so much. How are you today too, beautiful? So Bridget must not be around because I didn't have a comment back from her. Okay. Don't mind me if I say, okay, I'm talking to my guides at the same time. So yeah, I'm just waiting for a post from Irene here. Eric. Hi, Eric. Happy Wednesday to you too. So, Irene, I see you're wanting to know whether your Nana is your spirit guide. It's interesting because as soon as you ask the question, what the guides say is that it's like you've already set it up as though she is, right? So whether she is in fact a spirit guide for you or not, the guides are saying that you've already said, my Nana is my spirit guide. Do you understand the difference? I know this may sound really weird, right? The way I look at things is we can have our loved ones that watch over us and they'll be there for us when we need them, right? When we're having a bad day, when we're stressed, when there's emotional things going on, they will be there. Does that actually mean that they're a spirit guide, that they're acting in that capacity throughout our life? Not necessarily. The way I've always looked at it is, to me, for instance, guides can be very different than my loved ones on the other side. Right. And one of the reasons why I create a sense of separation between the two of them is for a couple of reasons. One of them is that if I'm looking to get information from a loved one that's passed, from a personal perspective, what does so-and-so think about this? There can be personal biases that can affect the information that comes through, right? Because it's based on something, on who they were. So as an example, if they were asking about whether a grandmother liked their tattoo and their grandmother never liked tattoos, then she'd probably say, no, I don't like it. But from a soul perspective, they may go, you know what, not my cup of tea, but I understand why they've done that, right? It helps them remember me. So you know what, that's okay. That's great. I'm happy about it. So just so you can kind of see the differences, okay, through that. So Irene, when you're asking about your grandmother being your spirit guide, I get that she is in visitation. So she comes to visit you, but not necessarily acting as a guide. She acts as a guide when you actually reach out to her, if that makes sense. So if you're having a bad day, you're actually calling your grandmother in to assist you. Bridget, hang on there, okay? Because I did have your name here, and I'll come back to you in just a minute, okay? You may be the one I was looking for earlier, too. So bear with me here. I'm just trying to find Irene's. Okay. So, Irene, does that kind of make some sense to you? Guides are very literal, and I kind of know what you're asking. But because they're literal, yeah. And when you make the comment about feeling her around lately, what she's telling me is you've been asking for her, right? And it's remembering that when we ask, when we reach out, they'll step forward. They'll be there for us, right? One sec. And you know what? Your grandmother keeps telling me you're worrying. She's telling me she needs to stop worrying so much. And it's funny because she laughs when she says that, which tells me that she probably was very much a worrier as well. So it's like the old saying about the pot calling the kettle black. That's kind of the information that I get from her. Yeah, and I see your comment about having a very special bond, and that bond hasn't changed. Okay. Whether they're here or not, they still have that connection. She was your go-to. But she would also set you straight. I mean, she didn't have a problem saying what she needed to say, but always there from a supportive perspective. And what I get is more so than anyone really in your life. Makes sense a little bit? Hopefully that's helped a little bit anyway. You know what, my dear? You are very, very, very welcome. And I mean, your grandmother had a gentle transition. They show me breathing stop. So she was in a place where she was ready for that transition. She was ready. She said she'd had a fairly long life, and she said, I was tired. So I think prior to passing, she was more out than in. So what I mean by that, she probably wasn't in a state of really being able to communicate so much before she passed either. Okay, one sec. You have a lot of traits that are very similar to her too. So I wouldn't be surprised if you kind of favor her a little bit as well. Right? That help a little bit, my dear? Yeah. And I do get it very peaceful. Like I said, she was ready. There was no unfinished thing, unfinished business at that point. And you know what? There's no better way to go than being surrounded by your loved ones when you transition. And okay, she had a fair number of family on the other side already too. So there was a reunion that was happening, as she stepped forward too. There was strong connection with the women in the family. Very strong women. Right? My dear, you are very, very, very welcome. Guides are also saying, put one foot in front of the other. So what I mean by that is you're holding yourself back at some point. There's something you're supposed to be moving into, and you're overanalyzing, you're being stuck in your head, and they're saying, stop it, right? You need to see how strong you are. Okay. And when I do groups, a lot of times, guys, if there's stuff that is kind of personal, I'll try and put it in a way that maybe the person understands, but not everybody else. Okay. Hopefully that's helped a little bit. Bridget, let me know if you're still here. If my memory serves me, you were looking to connect with a husband, Dale. And it's interesting because when I was grounding, I was getting a male that was stepping forward, and I did get the initial D. I was getting I just wasn't sure who the name was. So I think there's a connection back. And Irene, you're stronger than what you think too, my dear. Okay. So I'm going to go to Bridget here. So, let me see. There we go. I know it's here somewhere. So let's try that again. There we go. I think. Okay. Not sure why used to be the names are coming up. Oh, there it is. Maybe it's just where I was hitting it. So Bridget, when I was grounding, and it was actually interesting because it probably would have been before I started cooking dinner. So it was probably around 4:30, 5 o'clock or so, I had spirit that was stepping forward, and I really felt like this was a husband connection looking for wife. Okay. And I did get the initial D, but I didn't know like Daryl, I was having a hard time getting that name. And sometimes I get names and sometimes I don't. Okay. But the gist of what I get, let me know. Did your husband leave fairly abruptly too, Bridget? Because I get the sense of something that was supposed to be, if you will, routine or just like not expected. And, I get a sense of surprise from him on the other side. And he doesn't feel like he's been gone that long either. Hello, Wanda. Suzanne, is there, when I see check Alana Han, is that someone is that a troll? Let me know if it is. I can jump on my phone and I can boot them. Okay. So it's interesting because your husband actually started showing up earlier today, right? And I did feel the sense of him passing very abruptly because it was almost like this sense of the shock on the other side. And it's like, I need to connect with my wife. I need her to know that I'm okay. And you know, he's just so sorry that, what I heard was he's sorry for the way that he left. So, okay. Give me a second here, Bridget. I'm just going to jump in on my live on my phone here really quick. Unfortunately, a lot of times I get what I lovingly refer to as trolls, and they start spamming my lives, which is a real pain in the butt. So normally if I go in under my phone, I can go into my live and I can give them a boot. Unfortunately, when I'm running these other programs, I'm not always able to do so. Wrong place. Let's try that again. So bear with me here 1 second. You just wish that people would, if you will, stop doing that. Find a life. Maybe that's not very nice of me to say, but sometimes it gets very annoying when people do that. Okay. Gonna find the troll. Bear with me here. I'm sure they're there somewhere. Maybe see if I can pick it up anyway. Yeah, I don't see the name at the moment here. She's there twice. Yeah, I'm going to have to see if I can find, because where I've just logged in, I can't go back right now. So I'll keep an eye. And if not, then you know what? I will go back in after and delete them. Okay. So I'm just going to set that to the side because I want to be able to stay focused on my client here and stay in the energy. So you know what? I would ask you guys just ignore them. I'll go back in after and delete them for sure. Okay. So I'm going to go back here to Bridget. So he departed fairly quickly. I'm looking to see if there's another message there from you, and I don't see one. Just checking. Yeah, Nikki, I'll try and delete them after. I'm not going to spend, 5 minutes trying to find them at this point. Yeah. Bridget, your husband could be outspoken a little bit too, huh? Because what he's telling me is this wouldn't have been his cup of tea. He didn't necessarily believe in this stuff, but he's going, I'll do what I have to do in order to talk to her. Right. So one, that shows me a very strong connection between the two of you too. Okay. So again, I'm not sure how he passed, but what he just said to me too is to let you know that he didn't suffer. Right. I just get, so quick of a go. He really wished that he had more time, right? More time with you. Now, Bridget, is there something specific you want to know from him or ask about him? Okay. You have kids too, huh? And I apologize if the troll is bugging anybody. Bridget, I'm glad that my page, whenever you see that I'm going to go live, if you click on that button that says, get notifications as soon as I go live, it's going to let you know, right? Which is kind of nice, right? Okay. So you're saying, yeah, he didn't. It's you that was the light worker and a healer. Yeah, And that's kind of what he was saying, is he always kind of thought the stuff was crap. And that's fine. I always tell them, you know what? I don't take it personally. But there's just such a strong relationship between the two of you guys. And it's funny because as I say that, he laughs. He goes, "Now I really wish I listened to her more." And I think that is coming from the perspective of that, if when you use the term the light worker, right? From that, I make the joke about the woohoo stuff, but he wishes that he paid more attention and didn't just brush it off, right? What do you want to know from him, my dear? Okay, you've been thinking about him lots too, because he's also talking about. Bear with me here. I lost track of my thoughts there. He just wants you to know that he's okay. And I love that comment that I just put up there. Yeah, he's making jokes about it. He just says, yeah, because it's almost like you're having a conversation and you'd be excited about something and you're explaining something to him and he'd be like, yeah, but it's like he's saying that, but it's on autopilot. He's not really listening to what you're saying because he's making jokes about that. Like, I wish I really did listen. So that tells me he's got a bit of a sense of humor too, right? But as I said, he did start showing up earlier on today with me, good 4 hours before I did my live. And you know what? That happens quite a bit too. Bear with me here. Whoops. Get that right now. That's not the one I wanted. Okay, that's the one I wanted. You made a comment about him being on your mind, and I thought maybe he would do a walk-in, right? As soon as I asked the guides about that question about being a walk-in, they say not at this time. He is not in a place of readiness to return. He's got some work to do on the other side, and sometimes, yes, a walk-in can come back in. But when I ask the guides about that, they say not within this lifetime. So that doesn't mean that you won't have the connection again. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of a walk-in, they're saying not at this time. Okay. Again, that doesn't mean that we still can't have the connection, right? That we can't have those conversations, because he's telling me that, sorry, I'm laughing because what I heard is, she always did like to talk. He goes, she's always still talking to me. But he's making jokes about how you always like to talk. And then he's laughing like he's not meaning it derogatory in any way. It just shows me he's got quite the sense of humor too. Right? Makes sense a little bit. And hey, Candy. And anyone else that I haven't said hello to, welcome, welcome, welcome. Give me a second here. I don't know what you mean by, I see your comment. You're saying, what did he say? My mom is sick. Okay, very true. Yes. I'm not sure what you're meaning by all that. Yeah, I see the end part for sure. Just know that he's around you, right? He seems to be around quite a bit. And it's interesting because you seem to be dealing with it fairly well. And I think sometimes as light workers, we have a different perception of things, right? It doesn't mean we still don't love the person or miss them, but I think in some ways it makes it a little bit easier to deal with that transition to the other side with someone, right? Because he just didn't have really a strong faith or belief. He's still just trying to get his feet wet and figure things out a little bit, if that makes sense. Does that help a little bit, Bridget? I don't have what I call an epiphany message, but like I said, he was definitely showing up beforehand. And I always find that interesting when they do that. Yeah. And I see your comment about you looking into your grief and it's still hard. Yeah. And as I said, it doesn't mean that, we don't have feeling. But I think that knowledge helps us to move through it a little bit easier, if that makes sense, right? Well, thanks for bringing in a newbie, Candy. We like newbies. They're fun. I like them almost as much as I like skeptics. And hello to anyone that I may not have greeted yet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yeah, for those of you that are new, you know what? Like my page, follow my page. I go live usually about at least twice a month, and this is my way of giving back, right? Giving back to my clients and to everybody else. This is what I do for full-time work and what I've done for over 25 years, right? Okay. Bridget, I see your comment. You're saying that it makes sense that you're working on manifestation. Is there anything on this? And I'm not, as much as you may be posing that question to him, I'm not going to go to him with that. I'm going to go, obviously it comes from higher source. This is some of the work that I'm doing now in the training as a spiritual coach, is understanding and learning about universal laws and understanding how our own energies and our thought patterns, how we begin to create everything, right, that is around us, whether we see it as being a positive or a negative. It's us that are creating it out of the necessity of lessons of the soul, if you will, right? And you are very, very welcome, my dear. I hope that's helped a little bit. I'm glad that he showed up for you. Okay. Hey, Shell, nice to see you, honey. Hope your foot is doing all right. Candy, you're bringing everybody in, aren't you? You're so sweet when you do that, too. Hey, Brian. And Donna, too. Nice to see you guys. Let me know whether Mary LeBlanc is still in here or Pam Hack. And you are very, very welcome, my dear. Glad to be of service. This is what I love to do. Well, thanks for bringing your niece, Candy. Pam, I gotta ask, is your dad on the other side? Because as soon as I saw your name come in, I had a father energy step forward, so I just wanted to check that. Okay, so Mary's here too. Mary, if you'd like to ask a question or have a connection, that would be wonderful. So Pam, hang in there just a minute. I'm going to go to Mary just because I had her before you, and then I'm going to come back to you, okay? Carolyn, welcome. Glad you could jump on with me tonight. And Eric, hang in there if you're still in here, because I have you on my list too, okay? So yeah, Pam, I'm pretty sure your dad wants to come through as well. And this wouldn't have been his cup of tea. Shows me like a kind of a gruff guy sometimes. Teddy bear gruff though. So I'm going to stick with Mary. And yes, I did, Eric. I have your last name now. I can put it down here. I only wrote down your first name. Yeah, the guides say that it's important for you to, you came in here tonight specific to try and get a message too. So right now, Mary, okay, so when you're asking, is your partner around? I can automatically say yes. Guides are very literal. So as soon as you ask a question like that, they'll go, yes, next question, right? So obviously you want to have a connection with a partner on the other side. Is that correct? I just want to confirm. Yeah. So Mary, were you kind of just scrolling by and happened to see me live and decided to jump in? Not that it matters, but it almost feels like that. What's your husband's name? Your partner's name? You too, Wanda. Take care, my dear. It's easier than saying partner. That's if you want to give me the name. Okay, so Rick. When I start keying into his energy, I get illness with him. They show me a ramp. And whenever I get a ramp represents illness, right? But I do feel like you being there every step of the way because he's also showing me you sitting there holding his hand, right? Um, he wasn't always the best communicator, right? He shows me it's interesting because he shows me you being his rock, but then he says to her, it's like you be saying that he was your rock. You understand that? I think he expressed his emotions more through actions than words as well. Because when he's stepping forward more too, it's like what I hear is I want her to know how much I love her. And it's almost like from the aspect that he didn't feel like he said it enough. But I don't get a case that you ever necessarily doubted it, right? But it's like he wants to remind you. Is this making some sense for you? And again, I hear, thank you for being there for me. So you must have put a lot of things on hold for him for a while. I'm seeing a yes in there. I presume it's from. Sometimes it's hard to see which comments go where. And that's why I'm trying to figure things out. And you know what? I may wind up maybe doing it through Zoom and go through Zoom and actually just stream it to Facebook. That may be another option too, because you know what? Then we can go live and I can bring people in with me. It's always another option there too, jumping in on lives. So I see another yes there. I'm not quite sure what it's referring to. Mary, is there something specific you're looking at from him or you want to ask him? I don't know whether this comment here is whether you meant yes, I do or not. Because he's just showing me like being surrounded by love, having that illness being there. Drove him to the hospital. Okay. Right. What do you want to know from him, my dear? I hear nothing's changed much. Has he not been passed very long, Mary? Because he's showing me it's almost like, say, here's my house, here's my space, and everything is still almost kind of like the same from the time frame that he left. Right? Is that making some sense? So you're saying, is he okay? And did we give him a good send off? I don't get any issues with that. He shows me that sense of a gentle transition as well. Okay. As I say that, he says to me, he goes, she's not asking about when I actually died. So to me, this must be coming back almost to a funeral, wake, that type of thing. Does that make more sense? He says, you knew what he wanted. I get that this is something that was talked about. And I don't mean all the time, but what I get was because there was illness there, things were talked about as far as what he wanted. So you said he's only been passed for a couple months. Yeah, okay. And then I get another yes there. Yeah. He's okay. I mean, the guides have always referred to death or what I call transition as coming home, right? And they've always said to me, how could it be anything but blissful when we return home? And you know what? That's something I've always kept in my heart. And I always look at death from that perspective now, whether we see it as being abrupt or not. Always think about it as going home, right? So I don't know if that's helping Mary or not. Hopefully that helps a little bit. He doesn't have any issues with what was done. Okay, if that's what you're asking about. That helps some. How's the feed tonight, guys, too? I know last night was a little bit up and down. I'm just wondering if it's better tonight. Hopefully it is anyway. Ah, that's awesome. Mary is saying that they had his bike at the funeral parlor. Yeah. Well, he was never seen far behind it, or how do I phrase that? That's not quite what I meant. I think when we talk about motorcycle and riding, that was a big part of his life because he shows me like that was a passion. And then I hear until I couldn't. So there must have been a time frame that he wasn't able to do it so much. So the captions are lagging. Yeah, it's lagging on my end a little bit too. Thanks, Shell. And the captions are oh, okay. So Facebook captions. I'm on Starlink, and I understand that Starlink internet doesn't, and Facebook don't always get along. So I may try it after on Zoom and see how that works too. Jane, thanks. I appreciate that. So I hope that's helped a little bit, Mary. Yeah, I purchased a better microphone this year, so it definitely makes it a little bit easier. Let me move my little logo out of the way, maybe. There, maybe we'll throw it down there right now. Awesome. So Pam, you still there? Get some chapstick here. Pam, I'm not sure how long your dad's been passed, but he was stepping forward. As soon as I saw your name, I saw your father. Did he kind of have unruly hair at times? Like, do you know what I mean when I say that? Because it'd be almost like I'm trying to keep it, straight, but it'd be like it's almost like it would be sticking out in different places at times. Does that make any sense? And I know even for the comments coming in, there's a lag because I have to wait for them to come in as well, right? So I say, was that a yes or no? Not quite sure what means. Okay. Did your father-in-law have like because I was getting kind of a brownish color hair, but it made me feel like almost like maybe there was like red tones to it for some reason. No problem, Mary. You're very welcome, my dear. I'm trying to figure out who this is, Pam, because I just get this. It's like thick hair, shorter, but then it's almost like at the front when we think of like someone who's got a cowlick? Not sure if that's the right term. And when I key into him, I get a face void of expression, void of emotion. So it tells me it would have been someone who wasn't very good at emotion, right? I don't think he dealt with emotion very well either. Do you understand what I mean? And maybe it isn't someone that you're expecting to come through or not, but as soon as I saw your name, that's what I had coming through. Night, Jane. Thanks for dropping in. And hello to anyone that I may not have said hello to yet. So father-in-law, again, this wouldn't have been his cup of tea. Give me a second here. Stubborn as hell. They show me arms being crossed over the chest, which always represents a sense of stubbornness. And like I said, I keep getting this face void of expression. So I don't know whether there was situations between him and his son or not, but I get this butting of heads. Right? It's like there should have been some discussions. There should have been some stuff that was completed before his passing, but he, if you will, he wasn't interested in doing it. Just making any sense or not? And for me, I'm sitting here going, okay, so why is it that you want to come through to her? Because you're sitting over there, if you will, in the corner and you don't want to talk. Right? And it could be just that, as he was here, it's like he'd be sitting there in his head, want to apologize, want to say that he was sorry, want to, have those conversations, right? And then he just wouldn't do it. He'd clam up, he'd shut up. And if anything, it's like he'd go to the other side. So he didn't have any problems, if you will, expressing negative things, frustration. But he wasn't able, to be able to move. What I hear is move into a place of forgiveness. So there was forgiveness on both sides that had to be going on. And, I think men sometimes can be so damn stubborn that even though it's what they want, neither one will do anything about it. And that's almost what I get. So, there could have been a relationship between the two of them. Things could have been in a better way, in a different way between the two of them. But neither one of them would kind of step outside of their own stubbornness to have those conversations. And you know what? Him on the other side now, he has regrets over that, because he's saying, like, my life could have been so different. And then I hear not just with him, but then I hear with kids. So was the relationship that strained that he didn't even see the grandkids so much? Because he shows me all these things that could have been different. So it also tells me he's got a bit of regret. And as I said, I think maybe he's kind of tentative because he doesn't know what to think about this stuff. Okay, so they did come over. Because it's just the sense of him feeling like he's missing out on things. Right? And I think a lot of it has to do with that relationship with his son. Right? Good. I'm glad that he did. Was there a cancer connection with him, Pam? I'm just curious, because a lot of times I find that when I key into spirit on the other side who had issues from an emotional perspective, there's either a cancer connection, heart issues, or can come to lungs too, but typically it's usually heart or cancer. Okay, maybe that's what he's referring to. Because I see the comment about the two grandkids that he never met them, and it was like this connection more to the grandkids and not having that opportunity. And part of it, I think, is him not being here. But it's almost like if he made different choices and different decisions, that would have been a different case. Do you understand that? Okay, so lungs, yeah. Yeah, that's what I've learned. When it's associated with the emotion, which is the heart chakra, we got it here. And like I said, it comes back to the heart, or it can come into the lungs. And as I said, cancer is the other one, because cancer is a disease that eats us from the inside out. So it's another big one that I get with spirit. But he talks about, if he had made some different choices in his life, he would have been here a little bit longer. So I think there's some healing that has to happen on the other side. Right? So when his son crosses too, that they'll have that opportunity to do some of the work that they need to do that they weren't able to do here. And I have no doubt about him loving his grandkids. I don't get, things like that. I get more the sense of wanting to have more of a connection and just, not necessarily being able to do that. And it could have been around his health as well. Yeah. He's taken some ownership for things. He's not telling me directly what everything is, but I sense, like I said, a lot of emotion around him, right? That he's buried. So let your partner know, right? Oh, you guys are fun. Inviting all your friends in. I appreciate that. That help a little bit, Pam? It's good to see you. It's been so long. It's been a long time since I've been up that neck of the woods. And I think I've changed just a little bit since when I was probably read for you. Geez, that would have been back early 2000s, I think it would have been, when I was still in BC. Yeah, Pam, I kind of had the idea that you were, and maybe that's why, the father-in-law was kind of not sure about coming in too anyway, but it's like, still wanted that message to come through. Right? Yeah. We all change, we all grow. Sometimes it's, sometimes we view it as in a positive place, sometimes we view it in a negative, but it's understanding that, as I said, we create everything, and it's important for us to really look at it, right? So that helped a little bit, Pam. And when I say that, what I hear is 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So get out of your head. You're a bit of an overthinker right now lately too. So something's going on that you're overthinking, and they're saying stop. Because they're showing me a sense of disassociation from the head and the heart. So the head always wants to have that explanation why we should or shouldn't do anything. And the heart comes back to the place of emotion and trust. And that's kind of what they're saying is you need to come back to the heart. And you need to trust that. Get out of your head. Okay? Mm-hmm. And one of these days I'll make it back. I planned on visiting Michelle before all this COVID stuff hit, but we had to wait. So soon I'll get back up there. I'll come and spend a week or 2 with my sister. If my sister can handle me for 2 weeks. She may not. She may want to bury me in the backyard somewhere too. Do that. Time to work on it, right? They said it's so long your life has been about everybody else. And there comes a point in our life when we have to go, you know what, damn it, I'm important too. And I have to make sure I'm taking care of number 1, which is me. So that's where you're sitting. Okay? Onward and upward. 2 thumbs up. Eric, I know you're still hanging on. I know you're here somewhere. Much love to you, Pam. Miss you guys. Miss my sister. I miss BC too. Not that New Brunswick isn't nice too, but I miss BC. It is your turn. So I see your comment about you saying that you just said that the other day. It's your reminder. It's your validation. Okay. Awesome. Eric, thanks for hanging out and waiting. I know I saw earlier that you were looking for a connection too. Who was it you want to talk to, my dear? And guys, you know what? I connect with as many as I can. If I'm not able to make a connection with you, you know what? Reach out. I do readings in person. I do it over Zoom, over the phone, whatever works, right? This is what I do. This is what I love to do. It's my way of giving back. And I also do email questions through my website. If you've only got a question or 2, you're more than welcome to, do it that way too. I see my logos on my head. Let me move my head over some. Sorry, I'm having fun with this little software I get to play. Eric, you're looking for your mom. Okay, give me a sec here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just jumping back. Eric, your mom says that you still have a hard time letting her go. Because she's kind of saying that you haven't really. Night, Suzanne. Why do you think that you could have done more for her? That's my other question, because she's telling me that too. It's like, no matter what, but she shows me you helping and doing things for her, but it's like part of you was just still thinking that it wasn't good enough. Like in your own mind, thinking you could have done more. Right? It's like every time you start to feel happy again, you pull yourself right back down in that same place. Right? Hey, Duranda. Nice to see you, my dear. Mom's sad because you're sad. She doesn't want to see you unhappy. She says, I would give him the world if I could. She says, he asked me to stay, but he couldn't understand that I couldn't stay any longer. Right? And yeah, I see your comment about not being too healthy. And this is what I mean about her saying that, you were there trying to help as much as you could. Right? And I see you saying that you keep trying to tell yourself that. Well, now it isn't just you telling you that. This is your mom on the other side telling you that, because you deserve to be happy too. and you keep getting pulled back into the drama, into the guilt, and feeling like you could have done something different that would have kept her here. Right? That was not your job. So you say you were just wondering if she had a good transition, even though it was unexpected, and that you miss her so much, but you're happy she's got to reunite with her family. I see sister, brother, and mom, dad, her firstborn son, who and she missed very much, right? I mean, they always have those connections back, right? It's interesting because when you say, even though it was unexpected, she says to me, I knew it was coming. So on some level, she recognized that she was going to be transitioning. But that also, even in that knowingness, and it doesn't always have to be a physical knowingness, it can be coming from the essence of the soul too. But she says, even if I knew, I would never have told you anyway, because you would have just been in that place of waiting and, if you will, sadness. And she really doesn't want that for you. Right? Do they reunite on the other side? You betcha. We always connect with the loved ones, right? I used to have, well, I do. I have this picture that I have on my computer. It was a picture, right? And on this side, it's like, here's the person laying in the hospital bed and they're dying. And on this side, we have the family and their heads are down and they're crying and they're upset. And on the other side of that bed is the family on the other side. And they're having a party. They're celebrating, right? Because they're back together again, right? I'm glad that's maybe making a little bit of sense for you too, my dear. Right? She loves you. And she says to me, she goes, there wasn't a day that would have gone by that he didn't know how much I loved her. She was good cook too, huh? She's showing me the kitchen. And the kitchen represents someone who likes to cook or bake, but it also represents very strong family ties. I wouldn't be surprised if she had issues with mobility prior to passing too. Mary, not a problem, my dear. Reach out and we can do a one-on-one session. Actually, now, if you book a session and pay for your session now before Valentine's Day, I think I've got 15% off. If you pay for it online, if you put in the code of Valentine, VALENTINE, you'll get a discount on the session too. Just to let anyone know who might be interested in a session too. And for those of you that are local and even online, I have my membership as a naturopath, so I can provide receipts that can be claimed against most healthcare benefits programs or on your taxes too, right? Just to let you guys know. That's awesome about the tree. Give me a second. I get, and it wasn't just a case of planting a tree. She's telling me that there's symbology in the tree. So I don't know if that was her favorite tree or not, but she's talking about that. And I see your comment. You said she was having a hard time getting around the last time that you saw her and was help her in the Jeep. You said she was having a hard time getting in, and then she let out a big fart, and we both got it on tape. That's cute. Yeah, because whenever they show me someone sitting in like an Afghan over their legs, that represents mobility issues, right? And because she was so kind of independent, that started to wear down on her too, right? But I definitely get her being a good cook too. That's too funny. Is this helping a little bit, Eric? And like I said, at the end of the day, your mom wants to see you happy. That's the most important thing for her. She's okay, right? She's not in pain anymore, right? So look at it from that perspective. She just says you need to kind of work through it. So in your own time, have the conversation with your mom. You can let her know how much you miss her, but you need to be able to look at that, if you will, grief as well, because what she's telling me is you bury it, you hide it. And then she says, and then he gets cross at people. So indirectly, it just makes me feel like you can be short with people right now, just from an emotional perspective. So, because what she's telling me, she's going, that's not him, right? Personality wise. Megan, so sorry for your loss. I see you just posted about losing your grandmother yesterday. So very sorry to hear that. And thanks for popping in, Eric. I hope this has helped a little bit. And it's fun because your mom's blowing kisses to you and great big hugs too. She would have been a really huggy type of person too. Yeah, good. Well, she's talking about it because she's saying it isn't your personality and you're kind of snappy. You're snapping at people right now. Okay. Hopefully that's helped, my dear. Yeah, I see. I don't get the sense, and that's what she's saying. It isn't like you. We all have good days and bad days, and it's still remembering, stepping back and remembering who we are. And when we're like that, it's just saying that you need to retreat and honor what you need to honor in yourself. Okay. Yeah. She's sending her love through the lines. Very much so. Interesting, because as soon as I read that and you said you would text her randomly saying, I love you. And it almost feels like you did it even after she passed too. Yeah. She loved it. She loved it. Hopefully that's helped a little bit. Brian, you too. Take care, my dear. Hello, anyone I may not have said hello to. Well, guys, it's coming to that time of night. Kind of stay tuned because, like I said, what I think I'm going to do is I'm creating a landing page so that if you guys want to go live with me, you can kind of go there. You can put your name in. You can give me your email. And then I'll randomly choose a couple people to go live with me when I do my lives here. So I'll still go to people that show up, but we'll have a few live opportunities. And part of that is I'd love to have your feedback, right? Jump on my Facebook page. Let me know what you think. If you got a great message, I'd love to hear it, right? You too, Tanya. Good to hear you, my dear. Hopefully you guys aren't still up to your armpits in snow. So with that being said, check out my website. It'll show when my next live is. It'll be at the end of the month. I can't remember whether I have it on a Wednesday or Friday. So yeah, just take a look there. And you know what? Lots of love to you guys. If anyone needs a session, reach out to me. Be more than happy to book an appointment for you. You can check out my website, paulahunter.ca. And yeah, thanks for coming to hang with me. And I hope to see you next time and hopefully have some people to go live with me. Makes it a lot easier because then we can kind of have that back and forth and you don't have that pause sitting waiting for comments to come up. And I think it'll help the flow move a little bit better too. If not, then maybe I'll try some Zoom calls because trolls can't really jump in on that one either. But you'd have to have the Zoom link in order to get in on it. So all right, guys, you guys have a wonderful evening. Lots of love to you. Take care.